Welcome to Winner Daniel channel. Today, the topic is about obsessive compulsive and neurotic alterized behavior. What are alters? Thought process we create when we are the alter 6 age. So about 6 years old, children start questioning their world and choosing whether they need love or not, and whether they're going to accept it or run from it for the rest of their life, creating distortions and so forth. So they create all these thoughts. We have all done it, and we believe we are worthless or ugly or stupid or no good, or just we believe something. It becomes an alter in our mind, in our thought process. We have a narrative about it. We have the generated emotion, the fear, the anger, the hurt, backing it. And so it gets externalized. We get punished for these belief systems because we begin acting out different things to follow that thought process. And the externalizations become strongholds when we get punished for them, and it reinforces our thinking, so then we act it out more, and it just makes strongholds within us. So the obsessive compulsiveness of this behavior is we become obsessed from early years on that we're no good and we never will be, so therefore we don't deserve anything. So how can our Christ oil work for us when we still are running around with these worthless logs in our eyes and minds, and these worthless ideas, these heinous self-sabotage ideas that are all tied up in a forest of walking trees within us, and on the outside of us, when we're to take the logs out of our own eyes first before we can judge the logs in our brothers or sisters' eyes, minds, or worlds. So hiding the oil under the bushel, hiding the lamp. So if we hide this lamp under a bushel, sure, we can get overrun with alters in our mind. The moment we take the light out from under the bushel, the light comes back and we can see the logs that's there, and we can start deconstructing their infrastructure that they have in our mind, and rebuilding with Christ technology. And the wicked servant who buried the master's treasure instead of multiplying it. He said, you know what, you're a wicked master anyway, so I got scared and I put it in the dirt to hide it, to keep it safe. So that's pretty much what the Alter 6 child does. It decides the parents are wicked, so what's the point of using this Christ oil that's light up in the pineal? I'm going to hide it in the dirt down here. I'm going to use it in my ego for my sense pursuits and my willfulness. And instead of multiplying the light, we bury it, and we get divided in multiple, innumerable ways. So the obsessive compulsive, how does a person become obsessive and compulsive once they have alters and grow up and are knee deep and waist high into the life process of them? They become obsessive when they are, the alters are our alter ego personifications that we put on. So we think we're worthless, so therefore we pick up stupid random habits and maybe professions or recreation things that reinforce our perception of our worthlessness or our stupidity or something, and then we get upset when we don't get acknowledgement, the recognition. So we want love and belonging and to be validated, but we don't get that, so we settle for the second best thing, which is attention seeking, validation from others. So seeking our worth outside of ourselves in these obsessive, compulsive, codependent behaviors where I'm looking not to somebody else's Christ light, Christ oil for healing, because I believed all along that it just can't come from other people. I probably grew up in an environment where it didn't exist, so therefore I believed everybody in the world is bad. And so I don't want love from them. I want validation. I want attention. I want the wrong kinds of attention and validation. And I become obsessed with that pursuit. I become maybe an introvert and an empath, and I'm chasing, and everything is evading me for my whole magnetic life. And the neurotic aspect of alterized behavior is that it becomes so chronic, so like people become junkies of it, alter junkies. So I think it's, well, I don't think, but people could think that it's so funny to tell the same joke of themselves for their entire life. They're just enthralled with the same joke that puts their value down, dehumanizes them or another, or it becomes neurotic that it's like dogs, when you move them away and they're trying to jump on you, they just keep coming back. Like the person does not register that their obsessive compulsive behavior, they have a neurosis. The logs are basically like a log jam in the mind. The alters are like skyscrapers now instead of one story. They're obsessive. So how does this really look though? When the people have Christ oil benefits, they have their life together, they've raised their family, they're still together in their household, and they have, cars, wealth, belongings, relationships in their family network and work networks and friend networks, and they have everything that the blessing is supposed to provide for us. But if they have logs and altars in their mind and eyes, and worse, when they're obsessive and compulsive and neurotic, they don't understand detachment, letting go of the logs or the altars or the narratives of the altars. So I'm worthless becomes, not only am I worthless, you will bow down when I tell you or feel a pinch of worthlessness and am upset. You will worship my pain. So, and then they go above and beyond, of course, and everybody around them has to walk on the pins, needles, farmer's eggs that they have to recognize or be hyper vigilant, hyper alert for this air of worthlessness that's about, and the actual person can brag about it, can be proud of it, openly, brazenly talk about it, but nobody else can. And also, if you don't appease it, and you don't, it sounds narcissistic, it's a triangulation similar to the narcissism, and with the complexes of obsessive compulsive and neuroses, it can be very narcissistic, because it's the only validation they're getting. If they can't get the true love and the goodness, they want to be worshipped and validated for their demise, their perceived demise and suffering. So everybody else around them will be trained from birth, conditioned to participate in this narrative. And you can't break it down. You can't change it. You can't fix it. What to an outsider could be a walk-in job, and hey, you spilled something on the floor, let me pick it up, or do you want me to pick it up? And whoa, you are taking the world off its axis here. How dare you? So that is my most prized possession, my suffering and my broken situation. They don't want to do it. So the whole family, the whole community of friend network involved with them, the flying monkeys of these planked, logged, alterized characters, they worship and glorify and praise and promote and enable and perpetuate and build this unworthiness into a kingdom of unworthiness around this person. And everybody who is not enlightened and of the Christ mind, using Christ technology or Christ oil, does this to some extent or another. We're talking about the obsessives here. There's everything out of their mouth is a histrionic complaint. Poor me, woe is me, I'm suffering, this hurts, I can't, look at how hard it was for me to do this, and I can't believe I have to do that, and oh my god, this again, but yet they have everything out of the blessing in the physical, and they can't receive it because they don't have room. Their woodshed is cluttered with trees. None of them can get in the fireplace because you got to cut them first. You got to take them down. But they don't want that. So it's really hard to see. It's sad. Jesus had to see these things, people like this. I mean, he more likely probably overheard them rather than... But it's possible you could have sat and had a conversation with one of these jobs. I'm not creating altars, but I'm just word of speech, figure of speech.